This episode of Broken Bones and Bullshit is sponsored by Ozcan Rural. Attention bull riders, you want to have a great Easter run? Well, we are kicking it off at the Bennett Ranch with the Bennett Ranch Bull Bash on Thursday the 17th of April. Entry through the APRA website, day members welcome, buckles up in every event, cheap entry fees. This is not one to miss. See you guys there. So my next guest is Jake Bowen. When was it? 2022. ABCRA Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Runner-up. Extreme Bulls. And then CB...
As CRCA.
CRCA.
Yeah.
Bull Riding Champion. Welcome on the show, brother.
Thank you. Cheers.
So how did your whole career sort of start? You started on juniors?
Started out sort of when I was 15. Was camp drafting before then. Decided to go riding bulls about 15. So
yeah. And how did you get into the bull riding?
Well, my grandfather and my uncles and stuff like that on my mum's side, they all rode bulls, and I think my granddad got on a few bareback horses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's sort of, my mum says I sort of just wanted to ride bulls from the moment I could sort of talk. So I think I had my brother and my sister both scratch the DVD 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Probably, at least twice on me, like each.
Just so you'd stop playing it so much?
Yeah, like I'd watch it through and then I'd go back to the start and just skip to the bull riding part and go back and watch it again and then get out on the trampoline, pretend I was dying, you know.
And pretend you're Lane Frost riding Red Rock.
Yeah.
So Lane Frost has been someone you sort of looked up to?
Yeah, definitely. Troy Dunn, obviously. But mainly, I didn't really know much of the PBR or anything like that sort of before I started riding, you know, it was sort of just the movies that I had to go off. Yeah.
And what did you start on? You started on steers?
No, straight to junior bulls.
How old were you then? 15?
Yeah, my first ever rodeo I went to was at Mount Garnet, and I got on a rookie and a junior first go there.
Yeah.
So it was I got on this short little poley brindle in the junior, and it ended up like half bucking as I slid up, and I've gone over the front, and I remember
in the chute?
Yeah, like as I've gone over, Cody Teese and my uncle ended up grabbing me and sort of pulled me out upside down. They actually, I think they might have let the bull out because got to obviously rear ride, but they run that same bull up, and I was shitting it, it jumped out and kicked over its head and just slapped me 2 jumps, like winded me bad, and then I think I got my pinky or something like that, half caught or something, but it swelled up proper bad, and I drew a big Brahman in the rookies, and it jumped out, turned back into my hand. I did about 2 rounds and then got hung up and dragged around the arena twice. Mount Garnet's a pretty big arena, so it was, that was sort of my welcome to bull riding. Yeah.
And that wasn't enough to scare you off?
No, I had my stepmother doesn't really like the rodeos much, and one day there I was harping at her and, you know, just in her ear about wanting to ride, and she spun around and said to me, you can ride bulls, Jake, but when you have your first big bad wreck, you'll quit because you got no heart. And yeah, that sort of has,
Little
has
fire in
always,
you.
yeah, it's always been in my in the back of my head, and like I probably would have give it all up when I punch in my lung and all that, but
You can't let it be
yeah,
right.
yeah, I couldn't let it win, eh? Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's a hell of a bit of encouragement.
yeah, yeah, and we're pretty good now. We get along and everything now, but we like me growing up, we've always had that bit of a
Yeah,
rivalry and
used to
so
butt heads a bit.
yeah, but yeah, it's all grown up now and yeah, sort of yeah got over it. So
How how old were you when you first started having a bit of success? Like when did you start sort of figuring it out?
well, to be honest, I feel like I never worked it out. I don't think I still have. But I I went straight from playing footy, like training like 5 different teams, 4 different teams, like 3 school teams and a town team. So I went from playing footy straight to riding balls and having that hand-eye coordination and like everything like that, training all the time. I sort of stood straight into it, and from camp drafting and everything like that, had that natural balance.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I was, sort of winning a fair bit in the junior bull rides and stuff like that, and it started to slow down the older I got, obviously. But yeah, it was. I wish I started a lot earlier, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you think starting a bit later was a bit harder?
yeah, and like when I first started, I always had my uncle in my ear about when I was 16, I was riding junior novice open.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember him ringing me one show, and I think I'd won the junior and the novice.
Yeah.
And he's like, right, well, when are you, when are you going to start riding all three? I was riding all three, blah blah blah. And, Glendon come around. I think it was just 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glendon come around and it was 10 grand bull ride, and 10 grand bull ride was like what? Like
Yeah, massive.
yeah. So I nominated there, and I ended up drawing LA Inc. of Brandy's. Massive bull and pretty mean too. he I remember him. He was at the front of the line when they run him up the chute before they race before they split, and he was at the front, and then all these other bulls are behind him, and he would have had 2 foot at least on all these bulls. Like I mean, cleared over them. And I'd just come back from camp, so I walked around the back and I spotted him, and I dead set spotted him. It was the only time I could say I was literally scared to get him.
Yeah, right.
I turned around, walked out the back, and just spewed my guts up.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
went from the nerves.
yeah. And I walked back in, and Jay Bagero put me rope on, and yeah, I slid down on it, and it was pretty much peeling paint off the side of the box. Like rests its head over the top rail, like it's massive, eh? And yeah, I jumped out. I think I went 7 something,
Yeah.
and you can see in the video I took about 3 strides before I'd even hit the ground. Eh? Like, so yeah, it was and then I sort of went on from there, and
Yeah. And after you got over that sort of fear and that, you realised that like you can do it, like then are you going to stay with the opens and
yeah, I kind of always knew that. I knew I was always going to ride bulls,
yeah,
but I think where I went wrong was I never made a path to
yeah,
get to the top. I just seen myself at the top. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like I always
yeah,
was
you
like,
didn't set goals.
yeah, like and the first time I did was at the start of 2022, and set 2 goals, and I went and smashed them.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you won both of them.
yeah, so it's I wish I could go back and do it all over again. Like yeah, a lot of things I'd changed. The amount of times I'd get told, Jake, you got to train. go train, like. But I think what let me down in a lot of like areas in life, a lot with sport, was I knew I had the talent,
Yeah.
so I didn't really
Have to work at it as much.
pretty much, yeah. Like I started riding junior bulls and I was smashing them. So why, like
why train?
I'd go and just have fun, and now I'd get hurt, and I'd be a couch potato for 6 days, and go to the next one, and quick stretch before it, and
get into it.
Yeah, like getting on too early, getting hurt as a young fellow. Like,
yeah, I remember you were saying that to me before, that you wish you had a bit more guidance and held back a bit instead of trying to rush up the ranks too quick.
yeah, I got on this one bull at Melville's in Townsville.
Yeah. Geez, that wind just picked up heavy, eh? Good luck.
Hope everything's right outside.
yeah.
Yeah, I got on this one bull at Melville's. Long story short, I got on a junior bull the night before at Butler Park, and like smashed it. And then it was at the bull ride the next night. And I've gone to put my rope on it, and the contractor's like, "Did you get on that last night?" I was like, "Oh shit, I don't know." and he's like, "Oh, I think you did. You pulled a foot on it too, so go get on that black bull down the other end there." And I was like, "Yeah, no worries." Walk past Lugger, and Lugger's, "What are you doing?" I was like, "We're gonna go get on this black thing down here." "Oh, fuck you, man! Like, don't do that. It's yuck." And I was like, "Oh." He told me to, so and I just couldn't say no to people. Didn't want to look like a bitch, so I've gone, put my rope on it, and it's jumped out big, like just yuck.
Big belly roll,
just yuck,
kicking at its guts.
Yeah, I think I actually rode it, and it sort of flicked me down on my hands and knees. I landed in front of it, and it's bumped me with its head. I've landed flat, and then it's jumped on my back. One foot slipped off, and one stayed on, and just 2 ribs snapped, went like pierce, punch in the lung.
Oh wow!
And I remember, run out the back. Oh, sorry, I ran to the panels, and Jock Connolly goes, "No, you're right, bud. You just winded." I was like, "Oh, righto then." So I got back up and I walked out the back, and Lugger's like, "But you don't sound good." Like, you could just hear the blood gargling into my lungs.
Oh, when you're trying to talk?
Well, as I was talking, and he's just picked me up, ran me up this hill, and Mum had the shits on me because I made her drive me to this bull ride, 40k down the road. And so as I've fallen off, she's turned around and walked to the car, and she's sitting in the car, and she reckons she was getting the shits because I was taking forever apparently, and she sees Lugger running up the hill with like me like a baby, and put me in the car, and he's like, "The ambulance are on their way. You'll have to, he's going to hospital. He's pretty bad." And I by the time I got to the hospital, like I started coughing, and blood started coming out of my mouth and shit. Like, I was pretty much drowning in my own blood. So
how long were you in hospital for?
2 weeks.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, and it got the better of me. About, I think it was a week and a half. I had asked all the nurses, like, "I can breathe fine. Can you take this lung drain out of me?" It's like, have you ever had an internal itching feeling, like where you wanted, like, I could have reached down and just scratched my lungs. Man, it's the worst feeling in my life. It felt like the tube was rubbing on my lungs, like when I take a breath, and like none of the nurses would listen to me, and so I got the shit. So I grabbed my little walking stick and walked out the front, still connected to the thing. walked out the front of the Townsville Hospital around to the front, like emergency, and walked into emergency and was like, "Can you just take this lung drain out of me, please?" And they're like, "Are you a patient here?" I was like, "Yeah." And yeah, they're like, "You can't do this." I'm like, well, I've asked them enough times. Like, it's yeah, sitting still for 2 weeks, done me in.
And was that the biggest wreck you had?
Yeah, most likely, yeah. I've had a lot of. I've had my head stood on a couple of times, but I had a helmet on.
Yeah.
Luckily, yeah.
And you don't ride in a helmet now?
No, I chuck one on when just I struggle with my with the mental side of it. So, when I'm just not feeling right, I'll chuck one on, and
Yeah.
but
Do you think that actually like makes your ride worse because you sort of already got that doubt, and that's why the helmet's going back on, or?
well, up until probably last weekend, I um I thought it made me ride a lot better. Like I rode, yeah, 4 or 5 in a row, sort of
Yep.
from when I took it off, and um, I think it was a mental thing when I first took it off. Like when you pull your hat down and shoot and slide up on one, you like mentally you think you're a rank hunt, so
Yeah.
you just I don't know. I feel like my whole riding style changes when I ride in a hat. Like
Yeah. Wow.
I ride not so hunchback sort of thing,
Yeah.
like slumped over.
Because you don't want to knock
Because
any teeth
yeah,
out.
you sort of you want to keep your chin tucked and things like that. So yeah, it come close there Boxing Day in Myrtleford. I sort of lucky I put my hand there, otherwise I probably would have yeah been missing a few today. So yeah,
And
but
you,
yeah, I think I ride a lot better in a hat. And
yeah,
that's why I haven't sort of gone back to putting one on.
yeah. And you've been having a bit of a rough patch since you've been down.
I wouldn't say it was a bit of a rough patch. I reckon, yeah, just probably need to go home and reset and,
Yeah.
or maybe just let a few little injuries heal. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, we bucked a couple of bulls for you this morning, so that was good.
yeah, no, it was good to
Good to
always, yeah,
get one rode.
definitely, yeah.
Is it? That's all it takes sometimes. Just
Yeah, and
get one
I
rode.
know that probably wasn't the one, but
Yeah.
there will be one soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Like getting on at Bow Desert on the 18th.
Yeah.
One of them Gabe Wood shows.
Oh, cool.
Them bull pit bull
Yeah,
bulls.
yeah.
Yeah, they look like good little shows, eh?
Yeah,
Like,
cool. So you're driving back up for that?
yeah, well, yeah, I'm planning on heading back up to Queensland just to see me boy before he starts school this year. So probably sign him up to footy and everything like that. So
Yeah, cool.
yeah, see him for a couple of weeks and then most likely head back down and
Yeah.
hopefully with a new head and
New mindset.
new mindset, and yeah, come back and smash a few.
Yeah, you were telling me about uh, your ex helped you with doing like a meditation, and that was the year that you really had some success.
Yeah, she got real into. I think she still is into all that manifesting and
Mm.
all that stuff. So she sat me down pretty much when I had the 3 years off and said I was going to come back riding, and she sat me down and pretty much I closed my eyes and she talked to me. That's how it felt anyway.
Yeah.
I closed my eyes, she talked to me, told me to, sort of get that feeling of when you do smash one and step off it, like
Mm.
that feeling, and then do all these other things and she reckons it takes people, a lot of people, a few sessions to be able to work for them.
Yeah, and start believing it.
Yeah, and I went to a show the next weekend, and I bucked off there, but I walked around the front, and she's like, "I fixed you," and I was like, "No, you didn't. I fell off. Like,
Yeah.
what are you on about?" And she's like, "You were standing behind the chute, calm as, just yarn and dull, mate. Like before you, well, while your bull's running up."
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it. I was like, "Yeah, true." And yeah, then I went out to have that year that just all them freaky shit happened. Like, yeah, stuff that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
In my eyes to happen. So.
And because you went from 3 years off, and then your first year back, you win the title, and then Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Well, that's like Eli B. He won both them titles in 21, and after 3 years off, or 2.5, I think it was, and I said, they were the two that I sort of wanted to go for. I was going to go for, and I was lucky to get them both, and the rookie title by, I think it was half a point or a point on the day at the finals. So yeah, it was pretty cool, eh?
Yeah. It sounds like you need to just go up and do that again and reset and
Yeah, go to where you know, eh?
yeah. And it's you feel that you're sort of just wandering a bit lost now without you need to probably sit down and reset your goals.
Oh, definitely. Like it's it's not just the bull riding that I need to reset and look at it. There's a lot of things in my life at the moment that I need to sort of fix up, and so yeah, it's probably the best thing to do, is just go reset and start again, go back to basics.
Yeah.
Like I said to you this morning, on that second bull, and because of all the injuries, and Sam O'Connery said this to me, not long before just before that Full Throttle show in Townsville. He reckons, like, just wait until you're healed up, because you're going to go out there and compensate for your injuries, and it's not going to work for you. And I jumped out of that Bull Throttle smash too, and was sort of thinking,
I'm
all good. I'm all good. Like, I'm in pain, but I'm all good. And I just, obviously you can see here now, like, I'm diving in there, so I don't have to, move my shoulder, and it's just all not working for me. So
go and heal up and reset. And so, did your old man ride you?
No, he was more like, he still is. He's camp drafter. He's pretty big into it. Probably one of the flashiest rigs you'll see getting around. It's, when I go park my little van next to it at Warwick this year, it was pretty funny. I should have got a photo of it, actually, because they got this big signature trailer with their brand and everything all over it, and I'm parked there next to them with Huck Toured stickers on the back of my van.
And what's that sticker on the gay cops pull me over or something?
Yeah. Well, I think that'll be the last thing they're going to worry about if they pull me up, having no license or anything. So it's been a fun trip anyway.
Well, jockey Kyle Maskell, he radioed for a whole year with no license and never knew how to drive, and they just put him in the car and he just learnt on the road.
Yeah, well, I could see that coming from him, eh? Definitely. Yeah, could ride a bull, but
rank
freak. Yes.
There was You're telling me about when you got on Notorious of Brandenburgs?
Yeah, really hungover.
Yeah.
Really hungover on the Sunday at Mariba.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't like to mention that he wasn't his normal trip,
Yeah.
but I did ride him. Yeah, can say that I did that.
Yeah, talk us through how all that set up. You're saying you're leaning on a pole or whatever.
Oh yeah, mum was kicking me in the guts that morning going off because I was pretty drunk the night before and run one, and she's upping me because if you want to ride bulls, you do it properly, and which you should. But I was pretty young back then, and yeah, she's kicking me anyway. It's the event before the bull ride on the Sunday morning, and I've jumped up and I've just raced over there. Like, I don't even think I had my belt on or anything. I just ran over there and I'd gotten dressed, and yeah, apparently one of the fellows got a video, and I was standing there hanging onto a pole. Thought I was just like resting, leaning up against it, but I was there, had a pretty good sway going on. There was another bull getting around. I can't remember what it was called, but it had a name very similar to Notorious.
Yeah.
And it was last in the race, and I've gone to put my rope on it, and someone else was like, "No, it's my bull," and here's me hung over as like confused, like there's no more bulls in the race, like what's going on? And I asked Brandy, I was like, "Where's this Notorious? What's he?" And he's like, "Oh, he's down the back. I'll just wait for a free shoot." Like, I was like, "All right then." So I sort of heart started to race a little bit more. Then I was like, what am I stepping into? And because I'd never seen it before. And then there's a chute empty, and it comes running up from way down the back, and how it runs along high headed and
yeah, big savage looking.
Yeah, pretty intimidating, and it's come running into the box at Mariba, and they've got really high chutes, and it's level with the top rail, and I'm sitting up there like, it wasn't fun time, but I was dragging it out. All the judges yelling at me, "Hurry up!" And I ended up jumping out, and I remember just being behind the whole time, and it jumped out into my hand, did about 5 seconds, jumped out of it, and then just jump kicked, and I was tipped right out. And then as the buzzer's gone, I've stood off on my feet and right in front of all the boys, thinking, going to do the Conor McGregor walk, like real deadly. Just rode this thing hungover, and took one step, and it's kicked me straight in the back of the head, just flattened me. And it's I was there seeing stars there for a bit. Yeah.
Didn't knock you out?
No, it didn't. No. Come very close, like you see that white.
Yeah, the big flash.
Yeah. Seen that, and but no, I didn't knock me
out. Thank God.
Yeah. But yeah,
Did you win the bull ride?
No, I think I placed fourth in the round. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'd have 2 rounds in a final. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I fell off my first bull. I was at Ricky Bobby, and rode Notorious. Made it back to the short, but I was in the little fucking wooden box just over outside the arena, spewing my hole up because they'd given me some tablet that just sent me. I was I remember sitting on the table, on the chair, and the door was open, and she's given me something, and I looked forward and looked at Shani, and I'm like, was falling, like I just had nothing. I was like, catch me. And I'm just falling forward, and then laying down on the thing. I think I had a free trip to the Cairns Hospital.
Yeah, wow.
Neck. Something to do with my neck or something like that.
Yeah, wow.
But it was all good. And then I literally walked out of the hospital. Mum and Sheeny had the shits on me. Had to drive to Cairns, and then they made me drive from Cairns to Townsville straight after getting out of hospital. So, it was. I didn't get the sympathy I wanted.
So what's some of the big name bulls you've been on?
Oh, um, I got on that LA Inc.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he was a big name bull. He was more just known for his size, I think.
Yeah.
Him. There was Landlord. Landlord was, I think, he was 4-time North Queensland Bull of the Year or something like that.
Who owned him?
Simo, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simo owned him. And first time, me and Kieran Donovan drew him at Ingham one year. He'd never been ridden twice in one night. And Kieran rode him in the first round. And I rode him in the second round, double footed him as he was because he jumped out of it and was jump kicking at the end.
Oh, he got tired again.
Yeah, and I remember just double footing him both feet, like couldn't do it these days, not flexible enough. But, yeah, double footed him, jumped off, and I think I was about 7 points behind Kieran.
Yeah.
You know, and Kieran did the exact same trip as me.
Oh, wow.
And I was 7 points behind him, got fourth. Kieran won the bull ride. I was like, righto, all good.
You pissed someone off?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. No, honestly, I got on that fully lock and load, and no, not that white one of Dipman's, red of Brandy's.
Oh, yeah.
Is it fully lock and load or not? Just lock and load?
Lock and
Lock
load,
and
yeah.
load. Got on him at Isa, fresh after breaking my arm.
Yeah.
Just got my cast off, and yeah, I think it might have been the start of my groin injury too. So I think I was 5 seconds on him, felt good too.
Yeah.
But just missed the front, like we all do.
And how's the groin going? Is it causing you a bit of grief?
Oh, I thought it was good, like I rode towers and did them few shows up in Queensland, and it was pretty good. And yeah, it's sort of only just been these last. I think your bull might have done it. Done it again.
Boomstick.
Yeah, it sort of wasn't being a bit sore after then, and today, just getting off that walker there, just just hurt it again. So it's weird. Like I can get on a real buckaroo and it doesn't hurt, and get on something like that today.
Yeah,
and
it's steady.
It just kills. Like I got on a mini bull when I was down doing PBRs at the start of last year, and got on two mini bulls, and the pain that come out from my groin. I was freaking that I wasn't. It was down when I was doing Scone.
Yeah.
The day before Scone, I think it was, and I was in some pain just after riding a little jump kicker, little fat mini bull. Yeah. But then mini bulls, I went to. I reckon that was another thing that helped me coming into 2022 is I went to Leah and Denny Bigueros. They own their mini bulls up north. Went out there and I said I was taking Caden to go get on them, but really I knew I was going to get on a couple there, first coming back after a few years. So I went out there, I got on 5. They all bucked me off, all 5 of them, but I reckon it was probably the best thing I did because, it sort of, them quick little, sort of helped me just move my hips a little bit quicker and,
Oh, because they're smaller.
They're real,
faster.
Everything happens a lot faster and you've either got to cut them off or be real quick with them, and ride them good. And, I couldn't figure them out anyway. They're too quick for me. And,
do you like the mini bulls? Like, do you like that that's being brought in?
Yeah, I reckon it's awesome, Like how's a kid meant to sit on a calf or steer that's jumping out? It's this wide and jumping out, darting across the arena. It's nearly impossible if you think about it. It's good that they can sort of start riding the way we do
Yeah.
from the
big
start.
bulls. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like, and you look at some of the kids coming up now, like, you know, that young Hank Woodard,
Mm.
you know, he's going to be a freak. He's, yeah, getting on better practice balls that I want to get on. You know, like,
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, the mini balls are definitely a good thing coming up,
Mm.
especially with myself having a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he'll want to have a go one day.
Has he showed much interest in riding bulls?
He loves telling people he's a bull rider, but yeah, no, I think he's too smart. Like he knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like eventually, um, and yeah, he's sort of. Personally, I don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah.
Like he's already won a barrel race and buckle. So, yeah, and his mum's side's all ropers and everything. So,
You think he might end up down the other end?
oh yeah, maybe I'd say so, but hopefully I can, yeah,
Coach him into it.
at least get him on some saddle bronc or you know,
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, like I think the older I get, the more I realise, you know, how dangerous it is.
Mm.
You know, and having a young fellow when he was first born, I was, you know, like I'm gonna hate it if he doesn't ride bulls.
Yeah.
But now I think about it, and
You'd be happy if he didn't.
if I seen him laying in a hospital bed with a punctured lung and
Mm.
you know broken ribs and you know going through the pain that I've gone through,
Mm.
you know, you don't want that for your kid, eh?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
You can see it from the other side now.
yeah, definitely.
You're wondering why they were hassling you so much to give it up.
Yeah.
Now you've had a kid, you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, my mum, she, you know, she always knew I was going to ride and always, you know, never stopped me. You know, if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't have been able to ride the first few years before I got to meet a few boys to
Yeah.
travel around with. But, you know, she took me to so many shows, you know, sleeping out in the swag while I'm using her car for other things, you know, like in the back seat and stuff like that. So, you know, she put up with a lot of my shit and take my hat off to her for taking me everywhere. So,
Who was someone that helped you out a lot when you first started? Did you have someone that sort of was teaching you a bit to ride, or?
It's a long time ago. I got to
Yeah.
think back. Like, I think Lugger helped me a lot. Like he was, yeah, there wasn't many bull riders up north.
Mm.
Like, yeah, you had, you know, Lugger and a few of them other boys. But yeah, I think because he was in Townsville, he sort of was always there, and
Yeah.
he was the one riding in a hut, you know. So you sort of always look up to that,
Mm.
you know, one that's sort of a bit more badder.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and, you know, so yeah, you know, I remember seeing him kick the ears off this old bull called Speckles.
Yeah.
It was he had the biggest set of racks on him, like just a nice looking bull, you know, for a bucking bull, and he used to be just out there a couple and come around, and I remember from like I'd never I was still I think it was my first year riding, and I was asking Pearlie, I'm like, come on, can I get on him? Like, I want to get on him. I want to get on him. He's cool, you know. I'll ride this fella. Anyway, I ended up getting on him at this practice at Bartlett, and he jumped out, boom, jump kick for about 7 seconds, and I've gone to jump off, and I've like stood off beside him, and as my feet hit the ground, he's just come around and whacked the butt of his horn, just hit me right in the middle of the cage, and like Bartlett Park's a big arena, and you can hear from the other side of the arena just the crack that come out of my helmet, and like it was loud. My head just went like, and didn't even like land on my feet after. Like I didn't go down, nothing. Like he just hit me as I landed on my feet and whiplashed my head. And yeah, it was. If I didn't have a helmet on there, or there wouldn't have been much more left of my face. Like
wow.
like the butt of his horn hit like smack bang in the middle of my helmet, like just perfect whack.
Is
So,
that really near killed you reckon, if you didn't have a helmet on?
oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like, yeah. There's they're a hard bit of equipment they've got, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, two big baseball bats hanging off the side of their head.
Yeah, when they're swinging in front of your face, it's sort of, yeah, it gets a bit intimidating.
We'll take a little break and then we'll get back into it. We'll hear from our sponsors.
Oh.
Ozcan Rural, providing Southwest Victoria with everything related custom sheep and cattle yards. Get in touch with the fellas via email ozcanrural@gmail.com. That's AUS, can like the one you drink, rural@gmail.com. Building fences straighter than your local politician. So welcome back.
How are we?
So you were telling me outside you got yourself in a bit of trouble up north with the cops.
Yeah, it was it was before I'd actually even started, like before I'd come back, like I was still retired. And yeah, I even remember at that bull ride standing behind the chutes thinking, fuck, I'm glad I don't do this anymore, like this just looks scary. You know? But the only reason I went to that bull ride was because I got a brand new American hat from the end of the mail from American Hat, and so I wanted to go to this bull ride and wear it. Just busted out just to go to this bull ride, and I went to this bull ride. There was a big fight break out. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning on the 24th of October, 2021.
Yeah.
My sister's birthday. And yeah, I tried to break up this fight, and this police officer come running in, and she pushed me about 4 or 5 times, and then I've sort of got my stance and palmed her hands away as she's going to push me, and her hands come around and smacked herself in the mouth, busted her lip, and she 5 minutes later, like as you could see on the cop cam video I was watching, she's looked at me and gone, he punched me in the mouth or in the face, and she's walked up behind me, grabbed me by the arm and going, you're under arrest. And I've just grabbed my hat back, and I was like fuck. Ripped my arm out from and took off, and these hedges at the front of the AvTav in Townsville, they were taller than me because I sussed them out the next day. They were taller than me anyway. I've run between these cars, I've jumped over it, I don't know how, but just cleared it completely, didn't even touch the hedges. And landed, sort of stumbled a little bit, and then come onto off the footpath onto the bitumen, and stumbled again, and there was 2 coppers in full flight that just cleaned me up. And my good mate Rico, he was out, and I don't know how, but there was 4 coppers by the end of it, had their knees on my back. They put one cuff on, went to put the other on, and Reese has come across and just wiped them all off me, all of them. And I've just gone, right, this is me. I've got up, taken about 3 steps, whack, whack. Handcuff hit me in the face. And I've just got up to proper going, and these other 2 coppers are in full flight, already from what Reese done. And they've smashed me again, and gravel, bitumen rash, took chunks out of me the first time. The second time, I was bailing up real quick. I was like, nah, here. I was putting my hands behind the back for them. And yeah, being an innocent young fella, I, didn't really know to keep my mouth shut. And I was pissed, so I was half sobbing, not sobbing, but like fucking sorry, if I did it, I didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
And when you say that on fucking being recorded, that's you've just admitted to it.
Yeah.
So it's 10 grand later, and a whole lot of bullshit. Serious assault on a police officer causing bodily harm.
Wow.
And if I was to fight it and go to trial, I was looking at jail time and all this. So, but I ended up walking out of there with a $400 fine, no conviction recorded, because the day before I went to trial, my lawyer rang the police, and somehow they've wrote a whole new statement, sent it back, and my lawyers rang me and read it out to me, and I was like, that's exactly what happened. I will plead guilty to that.
Yeah.
So I've walked in, pleaded guilty, got a $400 fine, no conviction recorded.
And what they said that actually happened, what actually happened?
She come flying in, pushed me 3 or 4 times. I defended myself, pushed her arms away or something like that.
Yeah.
And her hand come around and busted her own lip.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep, all day I'll,
Yeah.
And then it had in there tried to run away and all this other shit.
Yeah.
Just needed to have joggers on instead of running boots, instead of riding boots. But that cost me a lot of money and a lot of miles in the head, eh? Like thinking, a little fella like me going to jail wouldn't have looked good. So
you don't want to be in there holding pockets.
Yeah. I reckon funny thing is around, it took nearly a year before I got convicted, charged and pleaded guilty and all that stuff for nothing. It was about a year or so, and by that time I was halfway through the year that I'd had, and 22, and the Townsville Bulletin were posting photos of me saying, bully bull rider bashes cop. Yeah, so they're posting this, and so everyone from up north are sending me this page that Bulletin have put up, and at the same time Extreme Bulls Australia is posting that I was going to Cloncurry or something like that, and it was raving on about it, and so that was going around as well, at the same time. But so there was this good and this bad going around, and I was a bit famous there for a little bit.
For the right things and the wrong things all at the same time.
So it was funny, but because everyone sort of knew what actually happened.
Yeah, knew
that
the
night,
true story.
Leah and Denny Bigero, they were involved in it a bit, and they sort of had my back.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty big show. They tried to charge Denny for all this, apparently pointed a taser or something like that at the copper or something like that, when it wasn't just none of this shit happened. And it was a pretty big, so they just got thrown out because they worked out that it was someone else.
Yeah.
And it was, and then mine went around in circles until I walked out with a $400 fine. That was it. So it was a bit of a hiccup in
the story.
Yeah.
Who's some your travelling partners that you've had over the years?
Well, like I said to you before, I sort of always, had a missus for a lot of the years, but 2022 I come back after being off for a few years, and when all them riders that were 15 are 18, you come back, when you're 19, you don't realise them kids, you might meet them or help them on one, but you kind of don't take notice of who they are. And,
and you come back and all of a sudden they're winning the bull.
Yeah, well, I've come back and I've gone back riding, gone to Ty Finch's, and there's all these new fellas there, and I'm like, who are all these fellas? They're all 18, 19, and
Going out there spanking.
Yeah, and like one of the fellas now, he even, you know, was in the top 5 in the APRA this year. He said to me back then in 2022, he goes, fuck, I remember when you rode beatbox at Milando, you know, like back then, and that was a pretty cool thing for me, you know, like sitting there going like other people
We're looking up to you.
Yeah, like, and now they're fucking way better than me. You know, like, you know, it's and when you rock up to a bull ride and you're the oldest fella there these days, and I'm only 27.
You never beat me, Bruss.
No, not you, or like, you know, there's a few of them other fellas out there that are, you know, a bit older. But
Yeah.
up north, you know, yeah, there's me, really, and like if Michael Smith and Braden Mulby and you know a few of them boys turn up, then you know
makes you feel a bit better.
Yeah, but yeah, I'll go on to a couple.
How was Willie that when Lost Soul broke his leg? That was him, wasn't it? At that PBR. That
no, I don't think it was that bull.
He broke his leg just recently. Like last season?
I don't know about it, no.
No? I must be thinking of someone else.
Yeah, no, I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, I haven't actually heard of a bull getting hurt at a rodeo in a while.
No, it wasn't a bull. Like, I thought Braden Wilby got his leg broken.
Yeah, it's snapped at the moment.
Yeah, so that was on a bull called Lost Soul.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and Brindle fella owned by Duns.
Yeah.
And it was, I watched it on the internet, like just watched it on the live stream. And it's just crazy how easy it can happen, eh?
Yeah.
Like he fell off and he was stood up, and then the bull just kicked his back leg out and just fucking just snapped his leg just straight in half.
Yeah, it's
like,
always
it can just happen. It looked like nothing.
Yeah.
Like you've seen that happen a million times and nothing happened.
Yeah, a bit like Sam O'Connor's accident, you know, like it.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't.
No.
But yeah, it's a bit the same as that. Like it didn't look like anything. Like I've seen a video of it, and yeah, it didn't look like anything. And it's always the you know, I got a video of some fella at Ballarat the other day, and he gets chucked all over the top of it, and then he finally lands on the ground, and this bull, it looks like it just kicks his head clean off, like, and I was right sitting on top of the chutes videoing it, and he's come across and like he's landed there, and it's just, his head's just disappeared off the screen. Like it was pretty hectic, but then you slow it down, and the shin of the bull sort of hit his head, and but
Yeah,
it looked a lot worse than what it did, you know.
Yeah.
But then
And he walked away from it. Like,
got up like there was nothing, you know. But it looked like it kicked his head clean off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'll show you the video later. But it was pretty hectic. But
it's been the same with me. Like all my big wrecks, it looked like nothing.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, you got a video of it? I was like, there's nothing to watch.
Yeah.
But I'd broken me back or broken me neck or something that just looked like you got bucked off and nothing really thing. And then I've had other ones where I've been like clotheslined on their racks and spun in the air 60 times and
you walk away with
and
not even a bruise.
nothing. Don't even have a bump on me.
Yeah.
So it's wild how that works.
Yeah, no, I reckon I've had a pretty good run with injuries. Like I've had my fair share, but like I'm not as accident prone as some of them other fellas.
Oh, I am. I'm bad.
But see, from a young, like from 15 to probably 19 when I stopped, when Shani was pregnant with Caden, in that time I rode with the, being younger and stuff, don't let go till your head hits the ground, sort of
Yeah.
thing. And but someone said to me, I can't remember who it was. Someone said to me in that time where I wasn't riding, these days you're going to win a bull ride hanging down the side, but like he said, you're not going to win a bull ride hanging down the side of a bull, hanging and rattling. And do you keep your hand shut for the $200, and get slung underneath it and get jumped all over, or not get off, but be able to get off and see the next weekend, you know what I mean? Like, I've been in that situation where I know for a fact if I keep my hand shut, I'm going to make probably an extra half a second, but I'm going to end up underneath it, and I'm probably not going to make it to the next bull ride that's worth a lot more money, you know? So yeah, it's a good and a bad thing, really. Like, I've probably lost a lot of bull rides from it, or lost a lot of money from it, but I think I've saved a lot of injuries too from it, like watched videos, and you can tell if you watch it back. If I would have hung on, I would have gotten stood all over, get slung down underneath them, and I'd rather just walk away and see the next weekend.
You were telling me about your cousin Cody Teese, and you were sort of half feeling guilty because you give him.
This was Malanda not long ago. So there were 7 scores out of, I think, 30 bull riders. Him and I were one of them, and I hit the ground pretty hard and was seeing stars. Like, it wasn't good at all. And he'd come out of retirement to, ride at Sam's show and sort of thing. And he rode his bull, and they took 6 into the short go, and he was the 7th score. Well, he was the lowest.
7th on the...
and mind games in my head playing up again, and sort of I wasn't really wanting to get on, still dizzy and everything like that. So I walked out the back, and I seen that he was sort of gutted, because
really wanted to make it a short go.
Because it was a jump kick, ran around the arena. He didn't ask for a re-ride because he didn't realise there were so many scores. So I heard that, and I was like, fuck it, you want to, you can take my spot, I'm going to get on a lot more, this is probably going to be your last one. I shouldn't have thought that, because he's jumped out, and it's jumped all over him,
bad. I've seen the photos.
I'm loading him into the ambulance, and he's just the whole side of his neck, neck down his ribs were just swollen up real bad, real quick too. And I felt pretty guilty loading him into the ambulance, knowing that I put him on that bull pretty much. But it was a bad wreck, he was punctured lung and everything. Wouldn't wish it upon your worst enemy.
No, that was one of them wrecks that isn't what we're talking about before. That looked bad and was real bad. Yeah. Everything about that was bad. Yeah,
it stomped the piss out of me.
I've seen the videos, and it's just both feet.
Yeah, I've never seen a human's side go like that, man. It was nearly flat from his neck to his chin, his shoulder to his chin, it just swelled up, and standing there knowing what the pain feels like of a punctured lung, it brought tears to my eyes. I felt so bad. I felt so bad.
I should have gone.
It took me a couple of weeks to even message him and be like, "You all right, bud?"
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're feeling that guilty?
I felt pretty bad. Yeah. Even though, everyone says, he got on it and he wanted to and everything like that. But just in my own head, knowing I should have got on that bull, and he wouldn't have been all busted up. But, and I probably would have rode the piss out of it, probably. No.
Well, you got to think like that every bull you get on, eh?
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of bull riders get that you know, cocky name.
Mm.
You know, like they've got that, because you do have to have that little bit of
self-confidence.
you know, and when you show that, people don't like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's...
Well, because you know what it's like if you're having just a bad run. Like, it's only got you to pump you up. Like, you
Yeah.
can't get it from no one else, because people can tell you all the time, but unless you believe it,
Yeah.
then it's no good. Like, it's
Yeah.
just white noise.
Yeah, well, I heard, who was it who was on here talking about that Gary LaFew podcast?
Brian Duggan.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. I listened to that in Sydney, and then on my way across, I think I listened to that Gary LaFew podcast like
cool.
3 or 4 times, man. And I'm like, I'm gonna rock up here and just fucking take all the money. You know, like,
Yeah, smash it.
yeah, I'm fucking confident I'm gonna do it. You
Yeah.
know, just rocked up there, and you know, Sam told me exactly what that bull was gonna do, and that bull did exactly what Sam said it was gonna do, and I just wasn't there to match it. Fucking, so then, you know, the mind games start playing again. So yeah, if you could turn your mind off, I reckon I'd be probably a lot further in my bull riding than
Yeah.
what I got.
And that's something that you've always struggled with, is just your mind.
Oh, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, deep down, you know, like, you can do it, but then, you know, it's very,
Yeah.
very fuzzy up there when you start getting into thinking about all that stuff. But yeah, definitely, if I would have been able to stay focused and concentrated on what I love doing, pretty
Yeah.
much. Like, I got to the point where I, you know, I didn't want to do it, just randomly, just because, you know, of ADHD and shit like
Yeah.
that. Like, I just get sick of it, you know,
Yeah.
like, and I got to the point where I was getting on, it was pretty juiced Wiggles, I think it was, big white and brown big bull and bucks. Got on it at Nebo, and I remember standing there. That was when because I spotted Shani across in the million people at Nebo. Spotted her standing there, big fat gut, you know, like, I looked over at her brother right then and there and said, I'm done after this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm finished. I'm sick of this feeling I'm getting every, you know, like, before a bull ride, like the...
What would make you feel sick?
Oh, no, I think it was just the nerves got too much for me.
Yeah.
Like, it would make me feel sick. Like,
And do you know what you're nervous about? Was it the nerves about getting hurt, or nerves about not doing good, or?
no, I don't think... I think it had a little bit probably to do with getting hurt because of Caden.
Yeah.
Like, just not being there for him, sort of thing. There was that, and then I just hate doing bad in front of people. You know, like, it's why I won't... Like, I'd love to go and try steer wrestling, or, you know, I'll never fucking pick up a rope, but I'd love to give steer wrestling a go, but I don't want to try and learn something different at this age, because I don't want to embarrass myself, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to look like that person that's starting something, you know? Like, and yeah, so I ground worked, shitload of steers, you know, like, I was pretty decent at pulling them down, but oddly enough, I got this weird, like, I've just got in my head that I'm going to get a smack in the mouth from this little steer. Like, just, I've always been like, nah, fuck that, I'm going to get it's going to throw its head up and I'm going to be missing my teeth. You know, like, and that's just, yeah. But
It could happen, but
then don't think about that when getting on a bull.
Yeah.
You know, like, getting on a
It's
bull,
weird, eh?
you know, you can have big bats in front of you and you don't think about that, you know. So,
And the steer's got the horns like this, and
I think it might be just the going too fast, you know,
Yeah.
like, to turn me off. But, and that sudden touching them, I think, too. Suddenly touching them, you know, like I know how animals work, and you know, you get down on a bull and touch them, you know,
Yeah.
same thing. You come down beside them and you touch them, whack. Nah.
Million miles an hour.
Yeah, I think I've seen David Schmid knock his tooth out at Bartlett Park.
Oh, really? That's probably what's put it in your head.
It's just like I can run behind them with my hands on them, jump down and do it, no problem at all, you know, but that going too fast off a horse, I was taught to stay in the saddle, eh?
Yeah.
Not jump out of it. Yeah, so...
So what's next for you?
Well, I get my licence back in 15 days, and yeah, I'll probably... I want to come back down here, eh? I like it down here. It's just I got, you know, got Caden in Queensland and the life that I want to live down here, so I'm sort of really
In between,
stuck in between, you know, and I know that he's not, like, him and his mum ain't going to go anywhere from Emerald, so I'm stuck in a place where, do I go live in a town that I absolutely hate?
Yeah.
Or you know, and be with my son, or do I be away from him and live somewhere that I enjoy living and live happily, you know, sort of thing. So yeah, there's a lot more to fix than just the bull riding. So,
but they seem to roll into each other at the same time too.
Yeah, like,
because
you know,
if your mind's messy about that, then it's going to be amplified when you're getting on bulls.
Carries over, eh?
Yeah.
You watch that video of JB Mooney, you know, back in 2013, you know, he says, if you're not doing things right in your life, it shows in your bull riding.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I'm a perfect example of that, you know, like I started having, you know, problems in my relationship and all that, and that ended, and yeah, I had that little bit of a fire, you know, as soon as we broke up to go back and get on a few, but the hot streak run out, and you know, now I'm
You've got to reset and dig deep.
Yeah, so probably go up to Queensland, see my young fella for a couple of weeks, and yeah, probably I got that bull ride in Bow Desert on the 18th, so I'll do that and get my licence back on the 20th, and then go from there. Probably come back down, actually, do it comfortably with the licence.
Yeah, not have to stress.
Yeah, it's been.
You're going to get pulled over.
Yeah, when you, what's it, just over 10,000 K in 6 weeks, 7 weeks. All with no licence. And I feel like, because I only found out the day before I was leaving, so I kind of wasn't going to let that stop me, eh? Like I was, you know, I felt like if I didn't come down and do this, I wouldn't have, you know, achieved anything, you know. I just rode up in Queensland and, you know, like...
You wanted to do something
I've
different.
got down here and, you know, I realise there's more rodeo people than just the Queenslanders, you know, like, really, like I was at Myrtleford and Bundalong and that, and I knew more ropers than I knew anyone else. Like, that's bad. Like, walking past, you know, hey Shane Kenny, and like, you know, I know all the ropers.
Don't know any bull riders.
I knew like Jake Whalen, and that was probably it, yourself. You know, like, yeah, it was...
Yeah, we rodeo down here too.
Yeah, it was an eye-opener, so yeah, it was good fun, but I've definitely enjoyed doing it all with no licence, to be honest. Like, it was kind of that bit more...
Bit exciting.
And like, you know, got a bit of a story to tell now, you know, like I've had them cops drive up behind me on Boxing Day on the motorway, and like I was saying to myself, this is it. Like, you know, good on you, Jake. You've gone 10,000 K with, you know, no licence, 3 states, you know, like, done well. But yeah, this is it. No, they just followed me for about 5 minutes and they pulled out and took off. But my smart thinking before I left, I think that might have saved me. Like, I painted my bike blue, my little scooter. I painted it blue and white. The night I was leaving, like the day before, simply because I thought, if it looked like a little girl's bike, like who's going to pull up a van with Queensland number plates, a little girl's bike on the back, poking along through Victoria, like
doing 80 k's.
Yeah, if that. So I think it worked because they followed me for a bit and then come up beside me, and I'm just acting real happy, and they just drove off, and I just keep getting to where I need to be, So I'm about to, probably leave here, and how far is it to Queensland from here?
Oh, long way.
Yeah, it'd be good, at least 3,000.
Yeah,
2,000.
yeah. Well, up north would be nearly 3,000 k's.
Well, yeah, I'll hopefully, I told Caden last night I'll be home in 3 nights. So
Yeah.
that was before I had to drive 6 hours south. Well, 7 hours, whatever it took. But
So, what advice would you give to a young fella wanting to make a living rodeoing and riding bulls?
Don't get on too early.
Yeah.
Like, don't try and
Step up too quick.
Like I was saying to you before, 2017, so it wasn't that long ago really. At a bull ride in the Burdekin in Ayr, I was standing on the back of the chutes talking to Kai Hamilton, and I asked him, I was like, why aren't you getting on open bulls? You're smashing everything else. And he's just like, Dad won't let me, and you have a look at him now.
He's a world champion.
Yeah, and another perfect example, like, look at all these bull riders that haven't left Australia, and getting on all these practice bulls, getting slapped. When you look at, I think his name's Scotty Wells, you look at the videos he puts up, he's getting on practice bulls that they're not even junior bulls. They're steadier than junior bulls. And he's going over the States winning X bulls.
There's something in there.
And I'll be pretty tough on it with anyone that asks me now. If you get on a steer and you fall off it, why are you getting on a junior bull?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or why are you riding novice bulls if you're still falling off junior bulls?
Yeah.
That's where I went wrong. I sort of got pressured into
stepping up
too early, and that's when you end up in hospital with punctured lungs and just
all the good stuff.
Beaten up. So just don't rush it, because it's a short career, but it takes a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you get on a lot of bulls, so you don't want to be doing it broken.
Yeah.
Much. Like, I pretty much rode my whole career just broken.
Yeah.
Because I started off just getting slammed by shit that I couldn't ride.
Yeah. Getting on stuff that your ability was nowhere near.
Yeah, but I wanted to. Like, I remember rocking up to, Troy Chappell's, grass arena, hard as, seeing Hangover, this big white, grey. He was just a nice looking bull. I don't even know what breed he was, but he was right there to the left every time, and same like that boomstick, just pull up straight away.
Quiet as.
So in my head I was like, quiet as, into my hand, I'm 15, watch this. I've got on this bull, and they finally let me get on it, and it was before I got on that LA Ink and all that, so this was pretty much my first open bull, and it jumped out, and I didn't realise what I was stepping into. It just carted me around about 3, got me slung right out, And that was back when I was like, fucking don't let go until your head hits the ground. And I'll come down underneath it, bang, it's come down and stopped right on my leg. Like I'll show you the photo later. Like I had a blood clot from my knee to my groin, and it was 4 different colours, black, green, purple. I went up to Mariba Rodeo with it, won the junior bull ride, like taped it up like I'm there, got a bandage, and I'm like as tight as I could possibly go around this, like, because it was like a sack of
just fluid,
and it was disgusting. Like you'd press it and it felt like a waterbed. Like like my leg, and so I taped it up so the water couldn't move around in it. And I jumped out and rode this jump kicker in the junior bull ride, won the junior bull ride, walked all the way around that big arena, and it was probably one of the worst pains I've had.
Wow.
Yeah, that, the lung drain, and a catheter.
Yeah.
A catheter, yeah, you don't want to wish that upon.
Oh yeah, I've had that a few times. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not very nice, especially when you got like, 3 decent looking nurses standing over you, and you've been on all the morphine and everything, so she's not looking the best. They cut your jeans off, or your jocks off, and you're like, does not normally look like that. I promise.
Sorry for the hard cut, everyone. The memory card on the camera filled up. Silly mistake. Won't happen again. Hopefully, you have a great day.